It is 6 p.m. on November 7th. I will call this meeting of the Miami Township Montgomery County Board of Trustees to order. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Berry.
Here.
Mr. Culp.
Here.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this evening. It's a little chilly and a little flurries out there, so thank you all for being here in attendance. We start every meeting with the reading of casualties. Mr. Berry.
Major Brent Taylor, Operation Freedom Sentinel, November 3rd, 2018, 39 of North Ogden, Utah, military intelligence officer with Utah National Guard's Joint Force Headquarters, serving with the Special Operations Joint Task Force.
Captain.
Good evening, Board. The following is a list of first responder casualties for November 7th through November the 25th. Firefighter Daniel J. Lucius, 33, Carroll Township, Ottawa County Fire and Rescue, Ohio. End of watch November 7th, 2018. Police Officer Toshio Hirai, 34, Gardner Police Department, California. End of watch November 15th, 2018. Police Officer Jason Seals, 35, Slidell Police Department, Louisiana. End of watch November 17th, 2018. Police Officer Samuel Jimenez, 23, Chicago Police Department, Illinois. End of watch November 19, 2018. Police Officer Leanne Simpson, 23, Philadelphia Police Department, Mississippi. End of watch November 24, 2018. Police Officer Hunter Edwards, 30, Winchester Police Department, Virginia. End of watch November 24, 2018. Police Officer David Romrell, 31, South Salt Lake Police Department, Utah. End of watch November 24, 2018. Deputy Sheriff Antonio Henestroza, 45, Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office, California. End of watch November 25th, 2018. And Canine Bandit, 4, Sutter County Sheriff's Office, California. End of watch November 15th, 2018.
Everyone would please bow their heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Berry.
Aye.
Mr. Culp.
Aye.
Now move into department reports.
Thank you, Mr. President. First thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge that the police department finished third this year, National Night Out for communities our size, which is 15,000 to 50,000. So we're slowly moving up, and that was actually, as you all know, it rained that day. It was a joint effort between us, everybody at the township, and all our partners out there. So they did an outstanding job. I have nothing else for the administration. I do want to note that Clay McCord is ill this evening, and I'll cover his topics when it gets to his section. If you have any questions for me, otherwise I'll turn it over to Captain Stegemeyer.
What's the path to be number one?
Harder work. We're going that way. It rained a little bit. That was really kind of dampened things, so we're already planning, or in the planning stage for next year.
I mean, is number one double what we're doing, 20% more? I mean, how much more do we have to grow to be?
We are the top township. Everything else is cities, and they're southern cities. A little bit other weather and different involvement, but we have some great partners between our neighborhoods. Austin Landing does our public. The rest of the people of the township, the county, state patrol. We're doing a fantastic job. It's just we're going to have to step it up a little bit more.
Excellent. Thank you.
Captain Stegemeyer.
Good evening again, Board. The Police Department has nothing to report at this time. However, I would like to expound on something that Chief Hess just told you in regards to the list. There was nobody else in Ohio that was on that list on the top 25 in this category. So that's, again, something to be proud of. We're the only, in the Category 4, which was the population the Chief told you about, there was no other Ohio police agency that was even on that list. So that's something for us to be very proud of. Again, I have nothing to report. If you have any questions, I'm here to entertain them.
Mr. Mayberry.
Good evening, Board. I don't have any new business for the Board tonight. Are there any questions for Public Works? Thank you.
Mr. Snyder.
Good evening, Board. I have no formal items for the agenda tonight, but happy to take any questions if you have them.
Mr. Hinkleman.
Good evening, Board. I also do not have any formal items for the Board this evening. If there are any questions, though, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Board has 5 resolutions tonight, and what they're asking, it's a request to the county auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of the levy for 2019. So you're aware the police department operates on 2 levies. They are back-to-back levies due to a failure several years ago with the former administration, both as in the police department and at the township level. So there's pushed these 2 levies together. These are just getting some information to decide how we want to go for 2019, whether we just want to do another renewal, we want to do a replacement, whether we're going to do a replacement at current millage, or if we're going to do a replacement at an additional millage. And again, then once we get these back, then we'll have a discussion on which way we want to go for the 2019 levy. If you have any questions on that, I'd be glad to have. Other than that, Mr. President, turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you. We will now move to the public comments section period of the meeting. Mr. Newell, is there anyone who wishes to address the board?
Yes, Jerry Allum.
Jerry, you can come to the microphone. You have 5 minutes to share your comments.
I appreciate the opportunity to address you. I'm a homeowner who lives over at 9218 Heritage Glen Drive. That's the road that comes into the Heritage Glen district. It's right behind the Southbrook Church. There's a big open field. And my issue is there's always a lot of noise, particularly on Saturdays and Sundays, which makes sense. The bass drum from where their band in the church plays, that noise carries over to all those houses that are back behind there. And I even get in my shower, and I can hear the drums noise coming over the shower that I'm in. Or sitting in my family room, which is furthest away from the back of my house, watching TV, and I can hear it over my TV show. I've been over and spoke with the church a couple of times, but I don't think I've ever spoke with anybody who's in a position of authority over there. And I was assured it would be passed on, but I don't think it was. I've called the local police department a couple of times. They've come out to my house. They've heard the noise. They've said they went over and spoke with the church, but the noise continues. I've got other neighbors that would have like a neighborhood web page, and there's always people, it's happened as early as 5:30 in the morning, more typical is 7:30 in the morning. And then because they have different church services, the same routine repeats itself, where if the band is practicing, it's always just the bass drum. I even asked them, trying my best to be humorous, but could they at least, if they're gonna keep making the noise, could I hear the guitar or something? Just like just hear the bass drum over and over and over again. But I think the fix has to be pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting the right person to get to the right person in the church, to ask them if they can move the microphone away from the bass drum,
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing this information. We will get with the administration and see if we can reach out to the church and see if there's, they'd be willing to work with us on this. You are correct, there is not a noise ordinance per se that we can enact, but this kind of information, I believe, coming before the trustees gives us the information we need to consider whether we should be doing something, because your situation is unique, but there was another situation with another resident with a totally different type of business yet a week ago that we could say is essentially the same thing. There was an organization that was a regular part of their business was causing, a large nuisance to them, and we definitely do not want to ignore it. We have your contact information, so I think we'll reach out and see what the church can do to help.
Mr. President, if I can ask two questions.
Yes, 2 questions.
Is this all are they all inside the building when they're doing this?
Yes.
Are the doors open? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think it's just an anomaly that I want to believe they don't believe that noise can carry that far. But, and I don't think myself or any of the neighbors are trying to be bad neighbors. If I want to be asleep at 7:30, I should be able to. I'm usually not, but I'd like to think I could.
Okay. But it's only the drum you hear.
It's only the bass drum.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else who wish to address the board? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment period, and we will consider votes on resolutions and motions.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 106-2018, a resolution to request the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of a 5 mil renewal levy for the police department. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees, in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5705.03B, requests the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the current total tax valuation of the unincorporated portion of Miami Township within Montgomery County and the total revenue of that 5 mil renewal levy, beginning with tax year 2019, to be first collected in 2020, would generate for the police department as provided for under ORC 5705.19J, if approved in May 7, 2019 primary election, to renew the existing 5 mil police levy expiring on December 31st, 2019.
I'll second.
Motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye. I make a motion that we approve resolution number 107-2018, resolution to request the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of a 5 mil replacement levy for the police department. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees, in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5705.03B, requests the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the current total tax valuation of the unincorporated portion of Miami Township within Montgomery County and the total revenue that a 5-year, 5 mil replacement levy beginning with tax year 2019 to be first collected in 2020 would generate for the police department as provided for under ORC 5705.19J, if approved in the May 7, 2019 primary election to replace the existing 5 mil police levy expiring on December 31st, 2019.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
All right.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 108-2018, a resolution to request the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of a 5.25 mil replacement levy for the police department. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees, in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5705.03, subsection B, requests the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the current total tax valuation of the unincorporated portion of Miami Township within Montgomery County and the total revenue that a 5-year, 5.25 mil replacement levy, beginning with tax year 2019 to be first collected in 2020, would generate for the police department as provided for under ORC 5705.19 subsection J, if approved in the May 7, 2019 primary election to replace an existing 5 mil police levy expiring December 31st, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 109-2018, a resolution to request the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of a 5.5 mil replacement levy for the police department. Therefore be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees, in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5705.03B, requests the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the current total tax valuation of the unincorporated portion of Miami Township within Montgomery County and the total revenue that a 5-year, 5.5 mil replacement levy beginning with the tax year 2019 to be first collected in 2020 would generate for the police department as provided under ORC 5705.19J, if approved in the May 7, 2019 primary election to replace the existing 5 mil police levy expiring on December 31st, 2019.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye. I make a motion that we approve resolution number 110-2018, resolution to request the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation in anticipation of a 5.75 mil replacement levy for the police department. Therefore be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees, in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5705.03B, requests the Montgomery County Auditor to certify the current total tax valuation of the unincorporated portion of Miami Township within Montgomery County, and the total revenue that a 5-year, 5.75 mil replacement levy beginning with tax year 2019 to be first collected in 2020 would generate for the police department, as provided for under ORC 5705.19J, if approved in the May 7th, 2019 primary election to replace the existing 5 mil police levy expiring on December 31st, 2019.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
We have no public hearings scheduled. Elected officials' comments. Mr. Berry.
I have nothing this evening.
Mr. Culp.
I have none.
I would just like to thank the Public Works Department. I was out of town during the recent ice storm, but I heard good things and reports that we got out in front of it. So thank you for all the work, and hopefully we'll have a mild winter. Like somebody said they saw something, was it a squirrel or worms, or somebody said it's going to be a mild winter. So let's hope they are correct. Mr. Newell.
Nothing.
We have no study session. I will make a motion, excuse me, to go into executive session at 6:18, adjourning into an executive session to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for an economic development assistance or negotiations with other political subdivisions related to requests for economic development assistance in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121.22 subsection G subsection 8. We will come back into session before we adjourn, but we'll be taking no further action. So you're welcome to stay or you're free to leave. Thank you very much.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Back on.
Having returned from executive session, we will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:35. Thank you all for coming.